Just tell me your most favorite Afrobarometer story.
The network as a whole favorite story is the Zambian bridge story. One of our team members, Francis from Uganda, he was down in Zambia monitoring some field work and just helping oversee the implementation of the survey there. And he was out in the field with one of the Zambian teams in a remote rural area, and they were trying to get to their site where they were supposed to do their interviews. And they came across a bridge over a river that was too broken down to use. There was still some structure there, but they could not get across it. And so, but rather than sort of take that and turn back, or even setting off an arduous trip across the river and on foot, what they wound up doing was rallying some people in the local area and getting people together. Francis was originally an engineer, trained as an engineer, and he got a bunch of people in the community to get together and collect stones and rocks and things, and they actually kind of rebuilt this bridge enough that they could get the vehicle across and get the team onto the village. So it was a bit of an achievement for that team, and kind of demonstrates how committed people can be to getting to even the most difficult places to reach.
Describe your time at Afrobarometer in just one sentence.
My time with Afrobarometer has been very interesting and intense, collaborative, and very informative in terms of knowing Africa.
What do you think has been Afrobarometer's most difficult moment?
I think the most difficult moment for Afrobarometer was when we are now facing financial difficulties, when we are trying to grow as a network. As you know, that the idea is to make sure that all African countries are included if possible. Now, when we got to that stage where now the donors were not forthcoming, it was the most difficult moment because we felt like something just falling on Afrobarometer when everybody's appetite had been going up.
After 20 years, what's next for Afrobarometer?
Well, hopefully after 20 years, we needed to cover more countries on the continent. Granted, I think we started off with the 12, and that was like, starting with the low-hanging fruit, as it were, the easiest countries. But as we've expanded and grown over the years, we've also had to go to countries that are very difficult to work in, and of course, we faced challenges in the recent round of surveys where we had to drop some countries like Algeria. We have had to drop Burundi, for example. So this does pose, a challenge, especially in terms of our continental coverage. But at the same time, one hopes that we can also expand. And right now we are around 36 countries, but there are 54 countries on this continent. One hopes that we can cover a lot more countries on the continent in the future.
Well, it's certainly my hope that the Afrobarometer will continue into the future. We didn't know when we started out how long it would last, but over time, people have become so interested in the work that we're doing that now I'm hopeful that there'll be another 20 years. A lot depends on whether we find the right people who have the same level of commitment as the folks who are now working in the organization, and I'm hopeful that we will. It also depends in good part about whether the atmosphere in African countries remains open enough. And again, I think with the changes that came with the democratic reforms over the last couple of decades, that this kind of work can go on. So yes, I think the Afrobarometer has a very bright future.